Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in. Stacking up, green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. Just me today, not joined by anybody. NFL Sunday. We will go over that full card there. We'll go over the full card in the NBA. And then we also have, I believe, 7 games in the NHL as well. So we have a lot to go over for today's card. So we're not going to waste too much time. We do have to recap yesterday, which was not fun. Negative 6.10 unit day. After a really strong start to December, I'm now only up a unit in December. So strong start has not carried through there. College basketball was yesterday. Had Ohio State minus 5.5. They won and covered against Rutgers. UMass minus 2.5. They lose to UMass Lowell 96-83. Furman outright plus 110 winner against Princeton. Southern Utah gets blown out against Arizona. We had the plus 28.5. That did not get there. UVA plus 10.5 did not get there as well. They lost by 12. Stanford plus 110 was a winner for that. Temple plus 9.5 was a loser. Wichita State minus 7.5 against ETSU. They win 96-87. And then for college football, the conference championship weekend was rough for me. Last year was awesome. I remember last year was a really strong conference championship week. This year was anything but. Iowa State, I thought, was one of the best plays of the week. I was wrong. I was dead wrong on that one there. 45-19 loss for those Hawkeyes in that game there. I thought the wrong team was favored. My numbers had the wrong team favored. It happens. Sometimes it's not. It's not how you project games would go. So there's that. I did get the win with Georgia, plus the 3. They went outright, 22-19. I was even able to get my dad to get on the plus 4.5 and the plus 160 live. So once it was, I think it was like 3-0. I said, if they don't score on this drive, go ahead and live bet them, and got the money there with that. And then Penn State plus 3.5 loser. They lose 45-37. That's not the type of game I was expecting for that one. I was expecting more of that Big Ten type of grinded out type of game, but that's not what we got from that matchup there, as defense was very much optional in that matchup. Not college. We were doing a lot of college there. Hockey was a struggle. Hockey's been a struggle, and it's been extremely frustrating. I need to get right in hockey. It's been too long of just not having good days in hockey, and it's been very frustrating. But I lost to the Buffalo Sabres plus 1 or minus 125. That was a bad play. I kind of felt like I forced that one there and didn't come through. The Blackhawks plus 160. I like the spot, just didn't get the job done. They were up after the first period 2-1, and then decided let's not score another goal. The New York Islanders plus 175. I really don't understand this team. I did cash the plus 175 money line ticket against the Hurricanes yesterday for them. But how's this team? I really don't understand this Islanders team sometimes. They'll lose to a team like Montreal, then beat Carolina. Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. It is what it is. Sharks first period was a loser. Annoying there. The over 5.5 Ottawa Nashville was a loser. Montreal was a loser. Minnesota was a loser. The Blues were a loser. So the Islanders were my only win in hockey yesterday. The Islanders helped to avoid a reverse sweep in the NHL, and that's not where I want to be in the NHL. This is supposed to be one of my better sports, and it has been anything but. It's a problem when the NBA for me has a better record than the NHL. Which, let's get into the NBA. Went 2-1 in the NBA. My only loser was the Denver Nuggets team total over 124.5 against the Washington Wizards. Yeah, that was rough there for them. And then, but I had two dogs that won outright. I had the Pistons plus 9.5 against the Knicks. They won outright, and I had the Grizzlies plus the 6.5. They won outright. So, a couple nice outright winners there in the NBA. So that's always nice to see that I'm kind of having a good read in the NBA this year. It's just not the NHL. I believe I believe I'm profitable in the NBA this year, which I did not think I would be. I did not think that the difference in record between hockey and basketball would be this favorable in the direction of the NBA. Because when we look at the overall records here, in the NBA this year, I'm up 1.18 units, and in the NHL, I'm down 13.82. So I did not expect that to be the type of results I'd be getting there. So kind of frustrating with the NHL, but I'm hoping that we turn it around here soon, because the NHL has been frustrating, but the NBA has at least been decent. So that's why I continue talking the NBA, because it's actually not been bad this year. We'll head into the chat, and then we'll get into the games for today. Torpedo game over 5 goals pushed. The over 5 in that game push. KHL bet results for today. This was early in the morning. Gotcha. Greyhounds over 6.5. The Wolves puck line was a loser. The Spitfires under 7 was a winner. And I messaged you in the chat there. Okay. That's fair. Yeah. So, yeah, I have to grade all the KHL stuff and everything like that in the other sports. So that's going to take me a minute to do. That's why I don't have the records available for today. It's a lot of work trying to chase down all these. But yeah, Checkers game over 5.5 goals. Monsters under 5.5 losers there. The Griffins got it done. The Texas Stars did not. Ice Hogs under did. Admirals over good. Wolfpack over good as well. There you go. Lehigh, no good. South Dakota State, no good. Abilene Christian, good. There you go. 1 and 2 there. Wizards, team total under, frustrating, yeah. And the Nuggets lost outright as 14-point favorites. That's ridiculous. Pistons plus 10, nice winner there. John Morant, nice winner there. Thompson under, no good, but Harrow under, good. There you go. Blackhawks, that was annoying. Sharks, the plus 2.5 was the better play there. Yeah, I took a shot with the first period. It is what it is. Under 6.5, minus 115. There you go. Preds game over 5.5, minus 120. Yeah, I was on the same side there in Montreal, yeah. UMBC plus 8.5. Wright State plus 6.5. Navy lost there, but New Mexico State, there you go. 15-18 overall. Glad the KHL did good for me today. 1-0-1 is a good start to a bounce back day. Yeah, I had a rough day yesterday too. Oh yeah, that was me asking there. All ears. Let's go Real Deal Prime. OHL last 2 days, minus 140 loser. There you go. I don't count my. Okay, I'll give appreciate it. Awesome. I started those. I didn't put the ones from today. That's fine. I appreciate that for that. So we will get started here in the NFL, where we have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Vikings are 6-point favorites, total 46 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here. Look ahead line 47.5, opening line, or look ahead line 4.5, opening line 4.5. And now we're up to a 6 now. So we had to move towards the Minnesota Vikings. Look at line 46, opening line 45. Now we're up to a 46.5. So we have a move towards the over here as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one here, where we have, I forgot, it's fun trying to find them. There we go. 58% of tickets and 53% of cash on the Falcons in this game. The line moving towards the Vikings. That's kind of interesting there. 78% of tickets and 73% of cash on the over. The line's moving towards the over. That makes sense. The Falcons, they're coming in struggling a little bit, 6-6, but they're 0-3. They've lost 3 games in a row in New Orleans, in Denver, and at home against the Chargers. On the flip side, the Vikings are back on their winning ways. They won 5 games in a row, and but they didn't cover last week. We did cash a ticket fading them. We've cashed tickets fading them the last couple weeks, and I've actually won my bets in 4 straight Vikings games, because I had plus 3.5 with the Cardinals. I had plus 3.5 with the Bears. I had plus 7 with the Jaguars. Won all 3 of those, and one with the under in the when they played the Titans. So I've actually read this Vikings team better over the last 4 games for them. I mean, I understand the narrative. It's Kirk Cousins' revenge game, and yes, I'd probably lean towards the Falcons in this game at the 6 number. Ultimately, this is not a game I'm getting involved with. Lean over the total here as well. Lean over at 46.5, but I think there's better games on the card. I've already moved on a few spots. I have 6 spots bet already in the NFL for today. So I'm probably going to look to add a couple throughout the card, but this is not a game I'm going to get involved with. And probably not the next one either. There we go. Providence Bruins under 5.5 goals. Griffins in regulation. Firebirds over Texas Stars, the AHL for today. There you go. And the Falcons plus 6. Yeah. Do you like Maryland basketball today? They're 4-point underdogs versus Purdue. Where are my numbers for that one? The hell are my numbers for it? Did I exit out? Where the hell did my numbers go for it? That's annoying. That's really annoying. There we go. I would lean Purdue. I'd lean Purdue at the -4. I have that game at a 5, so I don't see any value on it, though, really, to make a move on it. So we will continue on here. Let's get into the next one, which we have the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints, where this is absolutely...
Stop it. Get some help.
1-800-GAMBLER game. We have a couple of those today, and this is definitely one of them. This line is the Saints -5, total 41. Look at line 3.5, opening line 4.5, and now we're seeing still 4.5. It got up to a 5 at one point, but we've really just seen 4.5s and 5s bouncing back and forth. Look at line 40, opening line 40.5, and now we're 39.5, 40.5, around that range, and now we're seeing 41. So we do have a move towards the over here in this one as well. Taking a look at the cash flow, 81% of the tickets, 68% of cash is on the over. So I guess that makes sense that the line's moving that way. 67% of tickets and 69% of the cash is on the Saints. The line's moving. Not actually, the line hasn't really moved too much. You guys know my thoughts on the New Orleans Saints. You guys know my thoughts on the New York Giants. These are 2 teams I am probably as low gets on them. The Giants are 2-10 straight up. They're 2-9-1 ATS. They're not worth backing. They're absolutely not. They're tanking. This is them mailing it in. They have lost 7 straight games. They have not covered in any of them. But on the flip side, we have the Saints. They're coming off of a loss, 21-14 against the Rams, which snapped their 2-game winning streak against the Falcons and the Browns. I mean, I don't want the Giants. I sure as hell ain't laying more than a field goal with the Saints on the road, though. So this is an easy pass for me. There are way better games on the board, including Jaguars-Titans, which we'll talk about in a second, than this game right here. So absolutely no interest in this one whatsoever at all. Giants plus 5.5. Last night, what a line. There you go. -115. Not -110. Yeah. I can't trust the Giants at all right now. So there's that. Let's move on. This is the first of contest plays for me, and this is definitely a shop around type of game because Titans are 3.5 point favorites in this game, depending on your book. Total of 40. We have 59% of tickets and 57% of the cash is on the Titans. Oh, my bad. Let's go over line history real quick. Look at line 3, opening line 5, and now we're seeing 3s. So we're right back to the look-ahead line, and that was with Trevor Lawrence in, I believe, the look-ahead line. Look-ahead line 42.5, opening line 39.5, and now it's a 40. So we do have a slight move towards the over since the opening line, and a move towards these Jacksonville Jaguars. We have 59% tickets and 57% of cash on the Titans. The line's moving towards the Jags. 84% of tickets and 75% of cash on the over here as well. There is no way you're catching me laying more than a field goal with the Tennessee Titans in this game. Absolutely not. What have the Tennessee Titans done this year to prove they should be laying over a field goal at home in this game? They're 3-9 straight up, but they're 2-10 ATS, 7-4-1 over under, 1-4 at home this year. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-10 this year. They're 6-5-1 ATS. They're 7-5 over under. They've yet to win a road game this year. They're 0-6 on the road. So I get it. The Jaguars have been losing games. They're 2-10, but they've been not a bad covering team. Depending on the number you got last week with them against the Texans, which this is kind of crazy that the line with the Texans game is the same as the line with the Titans game. The Titans are 3-point favorites. And so granted, that was with Trevor Lawrence against the Texans, and this is with Mac Jones. So that makes a little bit more sense. But I got 3.5 with them last week against the Texans and cashed with them. They lost but covered against the Vikings. They lost and covered against the Eagles. They lost but covered against the Packers. They won and covered against the Patriots. This has been a Jaguars team that I have been on way too many weeks in a row because I backed them. Oh, wow. I've backed them 10 straight games, haven't I? I've been on this Jaguars team entirely too much this year. Because I backed them against the Bills. They got blown out. I believe I backed them against Houston. I believe I laid the points with them against the Colts. I took them in London against the Bears. I took them in London against the Patriots. I took the 3.5 with them again. The only one I didn't, my bad, is the one against the Eagles. I did not back them against the Eagles, but I backed this Jaguars team probably way too much this year. But I'm back on them today. I got 3.5. Shop around. I could see the Titans winning this game by a field goal. So shop around because the last few times we've seen them as favorites, they haven't covered in any of them. And including the last time they were a 3.5-point favorite, they beat the Patriots by exactly 3. So give me the Jags here in this spot at plus 3.5. I like this one here in this one. Agree, but trust the 5.5 play. Pass, yeah. Yeah, I get that, but yeah, I get that. We'll move on, though. This is kind of a shit card. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Las Vegas Raiders in this one here. This line opened up 7.5 for the Bucs. Or look at line 7.5, opening line 7.5, down to a 6.5. So we do have a move to the Raiders in this game. Look at line 45, opening line 44.5, and now to 47. So we do have a move towards the over here as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game. 67% of the tickets, 77% of the cash is on the Buccaneers, and the line's moving towards the Raiders, which makes the Raiders kind of interesting in this game. 80% of tickets, 89% of cash on the over here as well. And this is kind of a tricky spot or a tricky situation because I kind of do like the Raiders. As a Giants fan, I'm definitely rooting for the Raiders here because I would like the Giants to have a clear path to the number 1 overall pick. And if the Raiders can win a game, that'd be cool. They've lost 8 in a row, though. They did cover last week against the Chiefs, so and that was on Friday, so they have an extra couple days to prepare for this one here against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are coming in off of a overtime win against the Carolina Panthers, 26-23. They did not cover 6.5-point favorites in this game. This is dog or pass for me. Dog or pass, which will end up being a pass in this game. I mean, it's Raiders or nothing, but not a game I'm getting involved with here. But I would only look towards Las Vegas. Pass. Haven't seen. God damn it. Yeah, I keep blanking on it. It's been a crazy couple last few days. I apologize. Yeah, Raiders or nothing. Agreed. We'll move on. Browns and Steelers. The Steelers are 6.5-point favorites. Total 43.5 here. Let's take a look at the line history in this game, where we have the Pittsburgh Steelers look ahead line 6.5, opening line 7, down to a 6.5. Look ahead line 40.5, opening line 41, and now we're up to a 43.5. So we have a move towards the over here as well. And I kind of agree with the line move towards the over when we look at what this offense could be with Jameis Winston. They have no problem letting Jameis sling the ball around at all and play some higher scoring games. These two teams just played a couple weeks ago, and the Browns beat the Steelers in Cleveland. I think this could be a little bit of a revenge spot here for the for the Steelers. They just lost to this Browns team. 64% of tickets and 64% of cash on the over, or on the Steelers. 85% of tickets, 89% of cash on the over in this game here. So not a spot I'm jumping towards, but I had it written down that I leaned Pittsburgh in this game, and I kind of lean over the total in this game. I wish it wasn't overly public, the over, because I kind of do think that's a pretty decent play. But I'm not strong enough on it to go ahead and just bet it though. So lean Steelers, lean over, no play here for me. There you go. I'll just give you my wins and losses for all minor league hockey if that helps. Yes, that would absolutely help. Louisiana Tech thoughts. Who are the Bulldogs playing today? They're playing Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. I have that game at an 8.5, so I see value on the Bulldogs at 7, but not enough to pull the trigger. Oh, and Duke. I have Duke as a 12.5 point favorite, so I see value at the 10.5, but not enough for me to pull the trigger as well. So yeah, I would lean towards both those sides, but not enough for it to be an official play for me. Let's continue on, though. We have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Carolina Panthers. Look ahead line 13, opening line 13. Now we're actually seeing 14. So we have, within the last day, it's gone from a 13 to a 14. And that line really moved on the 6th. It went to a 13 to a 13.5. And then, then this morning, it went to a 14. Look ahead line 44.5, opening line 45. And now it's still a 45, as it did come down. I believe it was a 45.5 at one point. When I bet it, it was a 45.5 because I've doubled up on this game here. Let's get into it here. We have the Carolina Panthers, who have been playing better as of late. Now, this will definitely be the toughest matchup for them. So, as of late, other than they did play the Chiefs, but I would have the Eagles above the Chiefs right now. The Carolina Panthers, they've covered in 4 consecutive games. They covered as 6.5 point dogs last week against the Buccaneers. They covered as 11 point dogs against KC. They won outright against the Giants as 7 point dogs. They won outright against the Saints as 7 point dogs. This has been an awesome team as a dog the last 4 weeks. On the flip side, we do have an Eagles team that is 9-1 in the last 10 games, 7-3 ATS. They've covered in 4 in a row, 6 of the last 7. But 14 points, I think, is an awful lot in this game. However, I'm not taking the spread because I could see this game being one where the Eagles drop 40 points. And then all of a sudden, I'm asking the Panthers to drop 30 as well in this game. 84% of tickets, 83% of cash on the over. Don't really like that too much. 59% of tickets, 57% of cash on the Eagles here in this spot. I doubled up on this earlier in the week. I'm seeing 14.5, which I don't think 16.5, 14.5 are too different when it comes to team totals. I took the Panthers team total over 16.5 and the full game over 45.5. I don't like the lines moving against me on the full game total, but it is what it is. When you look at what this Panthers team has done as of late, they've put up points. They've put up at least 16.5 points in 4 straight games, 23 against the Bucs, 27 against the Chiefs, 20 against the Giants, and 23 against the Saints. They're putting up points. Bryce Young is looking better offensively as of late. And I do expect the Eagles to do some damage against this Carolina defense. This Carolina defense is still, they've given up 56 points in the last 2 games. Like, this is still a bad defense for Carolina. And I do think the Eagles can put up points against them there. I took the team total route rather than the spread route because I could see this as a game where it's 46-21 or something like that, where the Eagles blow them out, but the Panthers still get the team total. I do have the Panthers 12.5 as a contest pick this week, but that's just because of the lack of like actually good matchups or good what do you call it? The lack of good options for plays this week. And I like the Panthers enough to put up points. So I thought if I like them enough to put up points, then I'll take a shot with them to cover for a contest pick. So for me, I doubled up on this game. I took the team total over and the full game over here for the Carolina Panthers. So that's where we're running in this game here. I just noticed I forgot to type up the forgot to type up the hockey games for banners. So quickly doing that real quick because there are 7 games in the NHL, and I just want those to be available when we get to those. So it's just going to take 2 minutes here for this one. This is the fun of running a show by yourself and noticing that things need updating during the show. So that's what we're doing here. Wow, Colorado is that big of a dog today. Nice. And they're at the New Jersey Devils. Type Nick, come on. Who are minus 175. I'll type up the last 2 in a minute. All right. I'll leave the wins and losses on a YouTube video the night before or in the morning. Appreciate that. Before the show, I appreciate that. The Torpedo game over 5 push. There you go. Those are from KHL. Start. Yep, appreciate that. I'll give you my AHL and a free pick later today. Awesome. Pass. Yeah, let's continue on. A game I do have a play in as well. I love some ugly dogs today. Ugly dogs. Yes, I've already given out the Jaguars. I've already given out the Panthers team total. And let's get ugly again here. We have the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins 6-point favorites, total of 45 in this game. Look at line 6.5, opening line 6.5. And now we're seeing a 6. It did get down to a 5.5 at one point. Look at line 44.5, opening line 45, and it's still a 45. So no move on the total and a move towards the Jets here in this one. 72% of tickets, 80% of cash on the Dolphins, yet those lines move towards the Jets. 80% of tickets and 73% of cash on the over here as well. And this is just another spot where I don't think that the Dolphins should be laying this type of number here. And it also really also this is something to keep in mind is if when you're looking at this number here is where do you rank the New York Jets compared to the Las Vegas Raiders and compared to the New England Patriots? Because if you rank them lower than those two teams, then yes, the Dolphins should be laying this number. They beat the Raiders by 15. They beat the Patriots by 19 as 7.5 and 8-point favorites. I'm not. I do have the Jets rated higher than both those teams though. And the Jets, yeah, they've been losing, but other than like in the last 5 games, other than the blowout loss against the Cardinals, I mean, this team would be covering this type of number. Now, I don't want to be this Jets team has been a favorite in 6 straight games. So all of a sudden now we're getting points with them in this one, which I don't think we've gotten more than 6 points with the Jets at all this year. The biggest line we got was 3.5 with the 49ers. And this team's been favored basically every other week, other than being 2.5-point dogs against the Vikings in London. Like, this is a team that's not been that's been way overvalued and has been a favorite too much. But as a dog, I took 6 points with the Jets in this game. I think this is too much. And I think the Jets can at least keep this game respectable, competitive, because we've seen them do that, but we've seen them lose games. So for me, give me the Jets here at 6. I think this is a spot where they can at least keep it respectable and close. So, yeah, that's where we're going. You really need some help. Tim barely here anymore. He's here during the week. But yeah, I get but it is what it is. Jets plus 5.5. Jets spread. Yeah, I'm on board with that. We'll move on to the Arizona Cardinals and to the Seattle Seahawks. 3-point favorites are the Cardinals. We're starting to see some 2.5 juiced. I got in at 2.5 with the Cardinals. Let's get into the line history in this one here. This line, look ahead line 2.5, opening line 2.5, and now we're seeing a 3. We're seeing 3s, but the 3s are juiced towards the Seahawks. Look at line 46, opening line 45. It's down to a 44.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we do have 29% of the tickets and 45% of cash on the Cardinals. So the sharps are on the Cardinals in this game. Public liking the Seahawks as a dog. 70% of the tickets, 66% of the cash on the over in this one as well. These two teams just played a couple weeks ago, and it was a 16-6 win for the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are now 7-5. They won 3 in a row. They lead the division in the NFC West there. After really struggling for a while, they've now started to play better. On the flip side, the Arizona Cardinals, off of back-to-back losses, they should have won last game against those Minnesota Vikings, but they did cover. They've covered in 5 of their last 6 games. This has been a strong ATS team, the Cardinals. They're 6-6 straight up, but they're 8-5 ATS. They're cashing tickets is what this Arizona Cardinals team is doing so far this year. And I'm right. I'm on them in this game. This is the only favorite I took for the contest. I took the Cardinals at 3.5. I like this spot for Arizona to bounce back after that loss last week. And losing to this very Seattle Seahawks team the previous week. So I think this is a good spot for Arizona. I got 2.5 with them. Shop around because I think you could still find 2.5s out there for Arizona. I like them to win by over the field goal here in this spot. So I laid the points with the Cardinals in this game. Morning, Nick. What's good? Untouchable. Cards money line. Capitals puck line and live plus 220, never in doubt. Yeah, I was on the wrong side of that game. I was on Montreal, and apparently the Capitals may never lose a game again, and it's just annoying. Under 44.5. Sabres disappointed me temporarily. Bet them first period only as a side. Yeah, this is a Sabres team that they've kind of struggled a little bit, yeah. I wish I didn't bet them yesterday. It happens. But we'll get into hockey in a little bit because we still got a pretty decent size NBA card after that as well. And I am just all over the place because I realized I only typed up half the NBA games as well. So I'm just all over the place this morning. Buffalo Bills and Los Angeles Rams in this one here. I did move on this game. Look at line 3.5, opening line 4.5. We're down to a 3.5. So this line has gone from a 4.5 down to a 3.5 for the Rams. So it looks like sharper money is coming in on LA. Look at line 48.5, opening line 49. Now we're seeing 49.5. So we'll move towards the over as well. Expecting the Rams to be able to put up some offense in this game. 74% tickets, 73% cash on the over in this one. The Bills, 75% of tickets and 71% of cash on them. The line's moving towards the Rams in this game here. Would not surprise me to see this game be a field goal type of game. I'm on the Rams at plus 3.5 in this game. The Bills have been awesome. They've won 7 games in a row. They've covered in all but one of them. And the Rams, they're coming in off of a win. They've won 5 of their last 7 games after kind of struggling to start the year. They've kind of played a lot better as of late. And I know the Bills look very difficult to bet against right now. The public's on the Bills. The line's moving against them. That's something I really do like with the Rams here in the spot. Also, the Bills just clinched the AFC East. And yes, they're still competing for the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're a game behind the Chiefs. So there's still the option for that. I'm taking the point zone in this game. I could still see the Bills winning this one, but not covering. I think this is a good spot, potential flat spot for Buffalo after clinching the division last game. And the Rams are a desperate team they win and they're in first place in their division. With a win and a Cardinal and a Seahawks loss, they're all tied for the top of the division still. So this is going to be a desperate Rams team. Yeah, I got 3.5 of the Rams here in this spot. Lost an 8-leg 1,700 parlay because of Texas. I'll be glad when Ewers is gone and they bring the Arch. Yeah, which Ewers is going to be a top pick, and I hope he doesn't go to the Giants. I really don't. I really hope he's not the number 1 pick there, which he shouldn't be. Rams plus 3 in the under. I missed all the live plus money bets in college football last night. Nothing crazy, but I was hoping to split Texas plus 150, Penn State plus 255, and SMU plus 500. Yeah. Supness, what's good, Lex? Texas and Miami sold the bag. I was on Georgia. I'm sick of them. I was on Georgia in that game. I didn't believe in Texas there in that spot to beat Georgia. But We'll move on. San Francisco 49ers, they're now down to a 3 in this game with a total of 43.5. Look at line 40. Look at line -6. Opening line -4.5, and now they're down to a 3. That's really interesting. Opening. Look at line 44.5. And the opening line was 43.5. So and no line movement on the total here in this spot. The Bears are coming in on a 6-game losing streak. They lost 23-20 on Thanksgiving to the Lions in their last game. They fired Matt Eberflus. On the flip side, we have the 49ers who are off of back-to-back embarrassing losses. Granted, 2 of the better teams in football on the road, Buffalo and Green Bay, 2 places that are not fun for a Southern California team to go and play in. And they got beat down 38-10 and 35-10 in those 2 games. I'm interested in the Niners at this number. I feel like this is the market crashing on the 49ers. And I get it. They've looked terrible the last few weeks, and this could be an ultimate buy low spot. Plus, do we trust the Bears on the road? That's an ultimate question you got to ask yourself as well. They're 0-5 on the road this year, the Chicago Bears. And basically at this number, we're asking them to win the game. And yes, I understand they can cover if they lose, but to win the game. I want the Niners in this game. We have 66% of tickets and 58% of the cash on the Bears. So at least there's money coming in on the Bears for those who like the Bears in this spot. 80% of tickets, 73% of cash on the over in this one here. But at 3, I want the Niners in this game. And I want to move on the Niners in this spot at 3. I want to see what the best available number I can get at. But I get it. The Niners have looked like shit the last few weeks. But they should be this should not be a 3. And I'm getting -3, -110 with the Niners over on Bovada. So I get it. McCaffrey's gone. I get it. They've looked terrible. But this is a game where this is a get-right spot for the 49ers. You're coming in off of the two of the toughest teams to play on the road later in the season. And now you're back at home in California where it's going to be in the 60s for this game rather than playing in frigid temperatures at Lambeau and in Buffalo. No, give me the Niners at -3 in this game. I think this is a ultimate buy low spot on San Fran. So give me San Fran -3 in this game. Niners money line. Yep. Saints away, cold weather, Giants money line in the under. There's no way in the hell I'm putting my hard-earned money on the New York Giants right now. They've lost 8 games in a row. They've 7 games in a row, and they haven't covered at any of them. Good luck betting the Giants. I want nothing to do with the Giants the rest of the year. I want them to lose every single game the rest of the year and get the number 1 overall pick. McCaffrey is gone for the Niners. I might just teaser Chicago first half and full game as well as the under. If San Fran wins, it's an ass whoop, I would assume. Yeah. Who is the new Bears head coach anyway? I honestly didn't really look into that. I don't care. The Bears suck. So I get it. Maybe do a little bit more of due diligence and figure out stuff like that. But no, I have no interest. I mean, the Bears are on the road are a bet against for me as well. This has been a team that has been consistently bad on the road as well. So it's not like we're talking about a Bears team that can go on the road and play well. They haven't won a road game this year, the Bears. They've lost, what did I say, 6 games in a row? Yeah, no. I think this is more of a get-right spot for the 49ers than it is the Bears jump on them as an underdog. But we will move on here. We have the Sunday night football game as we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chiefs are 4-point favorites in this game with a total of 43 in this one. Obviously, the Chiefs coming in off of the win against the Raiders. And that was a game where they really struggled in that one. But once again, they don't cover as big favorites. Now, big favorites being over a touchdown. Let's talk about it though. This line opened up. Look at line 4.5. opening line 3.5, and we're back up to a 4 now. And the markets, this is the Chiefs kind of feel very similar to the Niners, but for different reasons. The market's low-key crashing on the Chiefs a little bit here, and I get it. They're 11-1. How can the markets be crashing on the Chiefs? Pretty simple. They're not covering. They're 5-1 straight up, but they're 0-6 against the spread the last 4 games. And granted, those games, though, that they won but didn't cover, 8.5-point favorites against the Raiders, 8.5-point favorites against the Buccaneers, 7-point favorites against the Broncos, 11-point favorites against the Panthers, 13.5-point favorites against the Raiders. They're not covering as more than a touchdown favorite. However, when we look at when the Chiefs have been laying less than a touchdown this year, they cover at a really nice clip. The only time they have not covered as a favorite of less than a touchdown was week 2 against the Bengals. Week 1, they win and cover as 2.5-point favorites against the Ravens. Week 3, they win and cover as 3-point favorites against the Falcons. Week 4, they win and cover as 6.5-point favorites against the Chargers. Week 5, they win and cover as 5-point favorites against the Saints. They won outright as a dog in San Fran as 2-point dogs. Since then, they've not covered anything. So this is what went from a team that was covering basically every game to now all of a sudden they're 8.5, 7, 11, and 13.5-point favorites, and they don't cover. But they cover in this price range. This is the price range you want the Kansas City Chiefs in. On the flip side, we had the Chargers coming in feeling really good. They've won 5 of the last 6 games. They've covered in 5 of the last 6 games. They're 8-4 now. They're not competing for the division, though. They're 3 games behind the Chiefs for this division. I think today they're going to be 4 games behind. We have the public on the Chargers here. 61% of the tickets and 59% of the cash is on the Chargers. So the Chiefs are looking kind of sharp in this game. 86% of tickets, 84% of cash on the over. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football here. I think this is another spot where the market is crashing on the favorite in this spot. The public kind of likes the dog. I'll take the Chiefs at -4. And yes, I've been fading the Chiefs a little bit as of late. But I'll fade them as favorites of more than a touchdown. Favorites of less than a touchdown, I'll look more to back them. So give me KC here, -4 against the Chargers here for Sunday Night Football. Titans, no, I'm on the Jaguars. Chiefs smash. Titans over, not Titans money line. Okay, that sounds better. Bears +3.5. Cardinals -2.5. I'm against you on one there. Nuggets getting run over by the Wizards was shocking last night. That was stunning. Yeah, that was my only loss in the NBA yesterday was the team total over from them. Bucks in the over. Chiefs team total over. That's a good look as well. Chiefs -3.5. Like it. I'll just go with my usual LA Chargers. Same game parlay. Kicker over 1.5 field goals with Herbert under half an interception. I lean Chiefs in the under. That's fair. Fair. We'll transition though from the gridiron to the hardwood, where we have 12 games in the NBA, a pretty significant slate. So let's get into it here. We have the Chicago Bulls taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. 1-point favorites are the Bulls. Are the Sixers in this game, with the total 236 in this one here. I'm just typing in game here. There we go. Let's take a look at the line history in this one as I have to transition from the NBA from the NFL to the NBA on all my stuff here. So give me just a second on that because it takes a second making a mid-show transition. There we go. 66% of the tickets, 53% of the cash is on the Bulls. The line, I don't have the line movement yet. 83% of the tickets and 81% of cash on the over. So money coming in on the Bulls, money coming in on the over in this one here. This line opened up at Bulls -1, and it's now flipped to Sixers -1, which makes the Sixers kind of interesting in this game. Line opened up 231. It's now 236, so move towards the over here as well. The move towards the over is understandable with all the money coming in on the over there. The Sixers are still 6-15 this year, yet they're 1.5-point favorites on the road. They are coming in off of a win outright against the Orlando Magic in their last game. They've covered in 4 in a row now, and they've won 3 of the last 4. Granted, they've played the Pistons, the Hornets, and then they played the Magic twice. But they're starting to play a little bit better, the 76ers. On the flip side, the Bulls are coming in off of a 132-123 loss against the Pacers. Doubled up on that game and cashed both the plays with the Pacers in the over in that game. So that was a nice little that was nice the last time the Bulls played. I would look towards the Sixers in this game. That would be my lean, and I'm going to move on the Philadelphia 76ers. I did not think that was going to be a play for me today. But give me Philly in this one on the early game in this spot. Even money over on FanDuel. I'll take a shot here at Philly on the money line. Yes, it's not the most appealing play in the world, but with that being said, I do think there's value here on the Sixers at even money. I think the markets are kind of pointing towards it. They've been playing better as of late. They've been covering 3 of the last 4 games, so I'll look for them to kind of keep that momentum going here in this spot to take the Sixers here, even money over on FanDuel. Let's see. Fade Law Tech Dumpster Fire. All right. What's up, my guys? Let's get it. Let's cash today. Hit the like button. People show some appreciation, subscribe, and share. No Timmy, shaking my head, but we still get a good betting day in sports. NBA and NFL, the 2 best sports. Yeah, NBA has actually been pretty decent this year for me, so I'm not going to shit on it too much. Bulls money line. I'm on the opposite side there. Come in on the best part of the show. We'll have to rewind for the second best. But we haven't gotten to hockey yet. Yes, I know. I got to keep making that joke every time. But yeah, there we go. Starting to put up some NFL as well. But yeah, just got through the NFL card, and now we're working on it there. Chiefs trifecta. I do like Kansas City today. I do like Kansas City. Bulls money line. Bucks lay it. Road Warriors first quarter, first half, full game. I'm kind of interested in the Warriors today. They're playing the Timberwolves again. I'm interested in that there. There we go. Atlanta trifecta. There you go. What about the under 236.5? Yeah, kind of lean that way at this point. Sixers, Bulls, under sounds good to me. Pass on Philly game, but fight an early slate. Maybe under because it's an early game. I could see that. NFL today. All underdogs win. Big sports gamblers here. Go all underdogs. I'm on a few underdogs. I'm on a few ugly ones, but I'm also on a couple favorites as well. So I'm not complete underdog guy today. LOL, I know, Nick. I love that joke that we got back and forth, NBA and NHL. Yeah, and unfortunately, I would like to emphasize that joke even more, but unfortunately, the NHL betting-wise has been terrible for me this year, and the NBA I'm actually profitable in. So let's keep it going. We have the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Brooklyn Nets. We get the Bucks 6-point road favorites with a total of 218 in this one. Let's take a look at the line history in this game. Line opened up at a 6.5. It's down to a 5.5. So we do have a move towards Brooklyn in this game. Line opened up 222.5, down to a 222. It's now down to a 216. So we do have a move towards the big move towards the under, and then a move towards these Brooklyn Nets with 72% of tickets and 73% of the cash on the Bucks, which makes the Nets extremely appealing in this game. 94% of tickets, 93% of the cash on the over here as well. Taking a look at the matchup here, now I will give credit where credit is due. The Bucks have been playing better as of late. They have lost back-to-back games though after they won 7 in a row. They lost to the Hawks as 4-point favorites outright by 15, but they did cover in their last game against the Boston Celtics as 8-point dogs. On the flip side, Brooklyn, they're coming in off of a win. They were 3.5-point dogs against the Indiana Pacers, and they won that game 99-90, which snapped a 3-game losing streak for them against Chicago, Orlando, where they didn't cover in any of them. I'm interested in the Nets in this game. 10-13 straight up, 4-8-1 ATS, 11-12 over under, 5-5 at home. Bucks are 11-11 this year. 9-12 and 1 ATS, 9-13 over under, 3-7 on the road. I don't trust this Bucks team on the road. I will take a shot here with the Nets, getting the 5.5. Actually, I can get a 6.5 over on ESPN bet -120. Sign me up. Brooklyn Nets plus 6.5 -120 over on ESPN bet for that game there. Let's get back to the chat here. Bucks smash, disagree. Atlanta shorty, go down, spicy nuggets. Yeah. What about over 218.5? At this point, yeah, it's moved so much. Denver lost to the Wiz kids straight up. Shake my head. They garbage. Washington plus 14 was good. And the money line. Yeah, I lost the team total over, but I will continue to bet team total overs against the Washington Wizards. That's just something I'll continue to do, though, because it's been so successful this year. Doing that. That was the only reason why I bet Denver yesterday, was just the team total over. Let's keep it going. Charlotte Hornets and the Indiana Pacers. Pacers 11-point favorites, total 221 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history. It'll open up at 11.5. It's down to an 11. Half-point line movement towards Charlotte. Line opened up 225. It's down to a 221. So another move towards the under here in this game as well. Kind of interesting there. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one, where we have 57% of tickets, 63% of cash on the Pacers. The line's moving slightly towards the Hornets in this one. 93% of tickets, 75% of cash in the over. The line's dropping. Yeah, not a game I have any interest in. There's no way I'm laying 11 points with the Pacers right now. I could promise you that. But the Hornets, the Hornets have been a little scrappy dog. They're 6-17 straight up, but they're 13-10 ATS. This is a team that they may not be winning games, but damn it, they are covering. But they haven't covered in 3 straight, though. Philly, they didn't cover against Philly. They didn't cover against the Knicks, and they didn't cover against the Cavaliers. So this is a team that, yeah, they've lost 8 in a row. They've covered in 4 of those games, though. So this is a team where, yeah, you want the Hornets as big dogs. I guess it's Hornets or pass. And I'm not forcing action in every single NBA game today, so it's a pass here for me. Let's see. Detroit go into New York and win straight up. Memphis beat Boston as well. I had both those. I had the Pistons plus the points. I had the Grizzlies plus the points. So yeah, watch the Wizards go back right to losing right after that game. Probably I'll be right on fading them again today. The Wizards with the team total over, because they play today. And I will be on the opponent team total over. Chiefs in life favorite. In life favorite at home less than 7 points. Never covered. All lose the game. One thing I'm worried is Chargers have been playing a lot on primetime. Chargers may lose this game. I do think the Chargers lose this game. And as favorites of less than 7 points, the Chiefs have been good this year in that role. They're bad laying 7 or higher. Laying less than 7. This has been an awesome Chiefs team this year that has covered every single time, other than the one game against the Cincinnati Bengals earlier in the year as 6.5-point dogs, or 6.5-point favorites. This has been a Chiefs team that covers as favorites laying less than a touchdown. Yes, no, no, yeah. Palace was down 30 to OKC, came back and covered the 11-point spread, and Toronto covered against Dallas by a point. I didn't really pay too much attention in the NBA last night, but yeah. Pass on Charlotte game, bump fight, yeah. Under 221.5. Card after show, yes, I have to post the card after the show. I have a lot of work to do after the show, and then head to work after that. I do work at 2:00 today. Atlanta Hawks, Denver Nuggets. Hawks are 3-point favorites in this game, total 242. Immediately, I want to back Denver in this game. They're dogs. They've been good in the dog roll this year a little bit. The Denver Nuggets. After losing to the Wizards, they immediately caught my attention. Line opened up at a 3, got up to a 4, and now it's back down to a 3. Line opened up 236.5, and now we're taking a look at 242.5. 48% of tickets, 50% of the cash on the Nuggets. The line is not really moved, but I don't expect the line to move when it's basically 50-50 down the middle. 91% of tickets, 84% cash on the over in this one, and the line's moved heavily towards the over. Denver's now lost back-to-back games. This has been a team that struggled on the road. They're 5-6 on the road this year. They're 11-10 straight up, 7-13-1 ATS, 13-7-1 over-under. And they will head home after this game, but then they'll hit the road again to play Sacramento and Portland after that. On the flip side, Atlanta, they're coming in off of a nice win against the Lakers. They didn't cover as 4-point favorites against the Lakers, but they won. They've won 6 games in a row, and maybe they're feeling good about themselves. And then after this, they'll head to the New York Knicks, which I think is a little bit more important game than the Denver Nuggets. And then they'll have 8 days off and then play San Antonio on the 19th of December. So I see this as Denver or nothing if you're betting this game. And I would love to back the Nuggets to bounce back in this game after the embarrassing losses, 14-point favorites in the last game. That's pretty plain simple. My angle, if I'm betting the Nuggets in this game, is they bounce back after an embarrassing loss yesterday. And I can get +3 with them here. I am very up, +3.5 over on BetMGM, actually at -115. I'm super tempted to take the Denver Nuggets in this game to bounce back after the bad loss yesterday against the Washington Wizards, because I know this could be a decent buy low spot on the Denver Nuggets. My only worry with them is that this will be a back-to-back for them, and they are missing Murray, they are missing Gordon, but there's still no excuse to losing that game against the Wizards there. So Denver or nothing, and I'm contemplating taking Denver, which I might come back at the end of the show and take the Denver Nuggets. They're definitely on my short list of plays that I have not bet yet that I would like to bet. So I would only take Denver in this game if I'm betting it, but I might take them. I just got to figure out whether or not I'm going to or not. But it is definitely Nuggets or pass for that game there. But we will go back to the chat here. Nuggets money line. Nuggets a big total, 242.5. Yeah, Nuggets are over. Nuggets in the over. Damn it! Give me the Nuggets here at +3.5 over on what do you call it? And BetMGM. Give me the 3.5 with Denver. I'll take it. There we go. Let's move on. Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat. The Cavaliers 3-point road favorites in this game, total of 224. How awesome has this Cleveland Cavaliers team been this year? Not only are they winning games, but they're covering spreads when they're winning these games as well. It's not like the Boston Celtics, who have been awesome this year. The Boston Celtics are slowly reminding me of the Chiefs, where they are winning games, but they're not covering spreads. But the Cleveland Cavaliers are definitely winning and covering spreads. 21-3 straight up, 18-6 against the spread. So this is a team that is not only winning, but they're covering. 15-9 over under, 8-2 on the road. They've been an awesome road team. The Heat are 11-10, 10-11 ATS, 12-9 over under, 6-4 at home. Cleveland winning 4 straight and covering in 4 straight since losing back-to-back games against the Atlanta Hawks. They beat the Celtics, the Wizards, the Nuggets, and the Hornets. On the flip side, Miami's won back-to-back games, both at home against the Lakers and the Suns in their last 2 games there. Let's take a look at the cash or the line history in this one here. Open up at a 2. It's now a 3 for Cleveland. Line opened up at a 226. It's now a 223. So move towards the under here as well. We have 76% of tickets and 69% of cash. Nice is on the Cavaliers. The line's at least moving towards them for those who are interested in Cleveland in the spot. 92% of tickets and 89% of cash on the over here as well. No play here for me. It'd be Cleveland or nothing if I'm betting this game, but I'm not going to force action on every single game there in this one. Thank you, Mr. Earle. Your best bet on the NBA, NFL. Thanks. In the NBA so far, my best bet would be the Philadelphia 76ers, but it'll probably be the Memphis Grizzlies team total over. And then for the NFL, I really like the where was it? If you can still get a 3.5, I really like the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars would be my best bet in the NFL today. How do you feel about Oregon covering -3? I have that game at a 2, so I would lean towards UCLA. Should have bet it last night. I could have gotten a line at 4. Yeah, and if I lose because they lose by 4, then so be it. It happens. What about the over 224? I don't know. I don't know how to feel about totals because for that game, it's that's a tricky total for me. We'll move on. Phoenix Suns, Orlando Magic. Your Orlando Magic. 2.5 point favorites in this game, total of 209. As they suffered another injury here. Franz Wagner is going to be out indefinitely for the Orlando Magic. So they're just getting hit constantly, it feels like, by injuries. This Orlando Magic team. They opened up at this line opened up at 3.5 for the Magic, and it went down to a 1. There's been some buyback though, and it brought it back up to a 2.5. Line opened up 217.5, and then now it's all the way plummeted down to a 211. Let's take a look at the cash flows. 57% of tickets, 68% of cash on the Magic. 95% of tickets, 85% of cash on the over. I think this is a tricky market to read because of injuries to these teams. Orlando is getting dealt the injury card plenty. This is also their first game back at home after a 5-game road trip. They are 9-0 at home this year, though. So if you want to follow that trend, the Magic have not lost at home this year. So I'm not interested in the Suns. This is their second game of a road trip. They've lost and not covered in neither of them. And it's not like they played good competition. Miami Heat and the New Orleans Pelicans they lost to. So this would be Orlando or nothing. Nothing here for me. But if you've been betting Orlando every single game at home so far, you've done pretty well. So that would be my lean in that one is Orlando. Suns money line. What about the under 209? I think the lines move too much. At 209, I would only look towards the over. The line opened up at a 217.5. So at 209, I would only look towards the over. Let's move on. We have the Grizzlies and the Wizards. We have the Grizzlies 11.5 point road favorites, total of 240.5. And I get it. This could be a little bit of a tricky spot. The Memphis Grizzlies are coming in off of the win against the Boston Celtics, 127-121 last night. The Wizards, though, are coming in off of an outright win as well. They were 11.5 point dogs to the Denver Nuggets and won that game outright. So they had a really, really nice win, and I do not have any interest in the Washington Wizards off of a win. Line opened up at 11, it's now at 11.5. Line did open up at a 243.5. It's down to a 240. So we do have a move towards the under here as well in this game. But you guys know exactly where I'm going. If you've been following me at all this NBA season, I think I've bet this like 13 or 14 or straight Wizards games. I find the Wizards, I look at their opponent, I take their team total over. Pretty plain and simple for me here. Grizzlies team total over 126.5, -115 over on Fanatics. I'm going to continue to ride the team total overs against the Wizards. I lost the last one there against with the Denver Nuggets, but this is the third game in 4 nights for the Washington Wizards. They're coming in off of a big win, and I do believe that this Grizzlies team will be able to put up points in this game here. Granted, not the greatest situation for them. Second half of a back-to-back off of a Boston win, but Wizards off of a nice win as well. So I can think those kind of cancel out. So I am on the team total over 126.5 for the Wizards. Or for the, not the Wizards, the Grizzlies. Grizz smash. Grizzlies are a dark horse in the Western Conference. Yeah, I can get behind that a little bit, that they could be a little bit of a sneaky team, the Washington Wizards, or the Memphis Grizzlies. They've been a team I've backed a decent amount this year. Let's keep it going. San Antonio Spurs, New Orleans Pelicans. Spurs 5.5 point favorites, total 226 in this game. Line opened up at a 2.5. It's all the way up to a 5.5. I'm assuming that means Wembanyama is back in the lineup. Line opened up 225. It's now 226. Move towards the over here as well. 76% of tickets, 68% of cash on the Spurs. 92% of tickets, 90% of cash on the over. This was one of the easier passes on the card for me. I don't want the Spurs off. I believe this line history is telling me Wemby is back. That's what this line is telling me here, that he is playing. I don't want the Spurs at 5.5. I don't trust them laying that type of number. I get it. They've been better this year, but I don't want them as a favorite. I want them as a dog. I want the Spurs getting 9 points in a game. I would rather back the Spurs getting 9.5 points against like the Oklahoma City Thunder rather than laying points. I don't want to lay points with the Spurs. On the flip side, I don't want the Pelicans almost ever. So this is a pretty easy pass for me. One of the easier passes on the card. No interest in whatsoever. What are your numbers on college basketball? Maryland plus 4.5. I know I have Maryland as a 5-point dog. So the Salukis, we're against the Salukis today. I'm on Chicago State in that one. I got plus 26.5. Texas -1. I have that game at UConn -1, but you can make the argument that it's the unranked favorite versus the ranked dog angle there with Connecticut. So you can make that argument. Arkansas State plus 14. I think we're on the opposite side there. Nope, I didn't back that game. I didn't back the game. I do have Memphis as a 16.5 point favorite in that spot. And then Missouri at 7.5. Where is Mizzou? Mizzou would be trying to scan through my spreadsheet quick. There we go. Against Kansas, I have them as a 7-point dog. So do with that as you please. Pell spread draws for both Philly and Ottawa today. I could definitely see a draw in the aisles there. What about the over 226? Sure. I have no interest in it whatsoever. Let's get into the next matchup here. I think this game is going to make my card. Let's get into it. We have the Golden State Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves. This line opened up. Oh, yeah, I think this game is probably definitely making my card. Line opened up. Minnesota -1. It's now Golden State -1. Line opened up 217.5. It's down to a 216.5. I backed the Timberwolves in the last matchup. When these two teams played 2 days ago, they won by 17 points, the Minnesota Timberwolves, in that game. The T-Wolves have won 4 in a row. The Warriors have struggled. They've lost 6 of their last 7 games. But you're giving me the second time these two teams have played in 2 days in the same arena after one team was blown out last game. We have 63% of tickets and 63% of the cash is on the Timberwolves, yet they've gone from dog to favorite, or from favorite to dog. This is Golden State money line for me. Pretty simple. This is one game I had circled. I believe somebody was asking for it earlier. You're asking for a best bet in the NBA. I think Golden State's the best bet in the NBA today. The more and more I look at this game, the more and more I'm going to say Golden State's the side, and I'm pretty confident about that. So give me the Warriors here, -110 against the Minnesota Timberwolves to bounce back after their loss last game by 17 points against this very team, again in this very arena just 2 days ago. Warriors money line, 100% agree. Let's keep it going. We have 1, 2, 3 games remaining in the NBA, and then we move into the NHL for 7 games. Let's keep it going. The Sacramento Kings and the Utah Jazz. The Kings 12-point favorites, total 233.5. Kings open up at a 12, still a 12. Line open up 229.5. It's a 233.5. The only way I would back the Kings in this game is a team total over. There's no way in hell I'm laying 12 points with them. Not happening. 49% of tickets, 53% of cash is on the Kings. So the lines, the markets are pretty split on the side here at the 12. So I think the 12 is a pretty strong number. Like, it's a pretty good number. 94% tickets, 94% cash on the over. The line's moving towards the over in this one here. Sacramento has dominated the matchup against the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are bad this year. They're 5-17, but they are 10-12 ATS. So they've been big enough dogs to cover some numbers this year compared to the amount of games they're winning. I have no interest in this game whatsoever. I'm not laying 12.5 with the Kings. It'd be over or nothing, but I feel like you've kind of missed your line on that. It's moved up 4.5 points. So over or nothing, team total over maybe with the Kings. I'm not laying 12 with them though. King smash over 233.5. I would lean that way, but I feel like you missed your line. There. Let's keep it going. The Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Rockets are 3-point favorites on the road, total of 215. Line opened up at a 1. It's all the way up to a 3.5 now. Line opened up at a 216.5. It's down to a 214. So move towards the under and a move towards the Rockets in this one here. We do have 37% tickets and 56% of the cash is on the Clippers. Line's moving towards the Rockets in this one, though. 88% tickets, 79% cash on the over in this one as well. The move towards the Rockets feels injury-related for the Clippers. That's kind of what it gives me the feel. Leonard's still out. Mann's going to be out. Brown's going to be out. Tucker's going to be out. Harden is day-to-day. So, yeah, this Clippers team is banged up with injuries right now. I have really no interest in laying points on the road with the Rockets. It would probably be Rockets or nothing. But once again, feel like you've missed your line. You could have gotten a 1.5. Now we're looking at over a bucket. And I don't want to get the ass end of a line move like that. So it's a pass for me. I would look towards the Rockets if gun to head, but definitely not a play I feel the need to get involved with. Which then we'll move on to the final game in the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers. The Lakers 8.5-point favorites, total of 224 in this game. 72% of tickets and 75% of cash on the Lakers. 87% of tickets, 84% of cash on the over here as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow or the line history. Opened up at a 10. It's now down to an 8.5 with the public all over the Lakers. Line moving towards the Blazers makes them kind of interesting. Line opened up at 224.5 down to a 224. The Blazers are 8-15 this year, but they're 12-10-1 ATS. They're 10-13 over under. They're 3-9 on the road. The Lakers are 12-11 this year. They're 9-14 ATS, 11-12 over under, 7-3 at home. I don't trust this Lakers team right now. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They've covered in 2 of them. And now we're asking them to lay 8.5 points. This is absolutely Blazers or nothing. The only question is, do you want to take the Blazers in this matchup? The answer for me is probably no. But it would be Blazers or nothing. But not a game I am feeling super determined to get involved with. It would be Blazers or nothing. But not a game that I'm going to go running to go bet. So pass for me in this one. Blazers or pass would be the side in this one here, but not a game I'm going to be getting involved with. To end the NBA card, I do have a decent amount of NBA action. I'm happy with the NBA card. Clipper spread in the under 218. You can see that. Afternoon. Yeah. Hey, NY Jets finally get a W today. I have the +6 with them. I think so. Blazer spread. Came to visit my guys. What's good, Nathan Cerna? Lazy Lakers. Hate them. Yeah. Hit my biggest ticket so far for this season. Hit a 5 separate parlays, 18. Oh, wow. There you go. John Morant is the best player today. Right? There's this guy named Nikola Jokic. I would take him over John Morant. The multi-time MVP. And arguably the best player in the world. Who averages a triple-double. John Morant's good. I would still take Luka over him. I'd probably still take Giannis over him. I'd definitely take Jokic over him. I understand your sentiment there, but no. I think they're still better. Now, he has the potential to be one of the top guys, but no. Lean Lake Show off a loss. Yeah. How about the over 224? Maybe. Any money, guys? Make me win and repeat. Here you go. Where's Uncle Lenny? He doesn't do shows with us. Where's Timmy? He is working. He's working right now. Do you like Kansas Rock'em Chalk'em today on the hardwood? I would lean towards the dog in that game. But I'm not betting it. So I don't like the high, what do you call it? profile games in college basketball. I like the smaller games. But that's not here nor there. Let's get into the NHL, where we have the New York Rangers and the Seattle Kraken. The first game here, the Rangers minus 165 favorites with a total of 6 in this game. Let's get into my projections for this one here. The Rangers finally coming off of a win. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins in their last game. Does that get them going? I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh is still one of the worst teams in the NHL. So I don't know how much we can truly read into a win versus the Penguins. That felt like a get-right spot for the Rangers. I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. Their advanced metrics suck, the New York Rangers. Pretty plain and simple on that one there. It would be Kraken or nothing. But the Kraken, I believe this is the last game of a road trip for them. They'll head home to play Florida, Boston, and Tampa Bay coming up. That's the last game of their little metro road trip. They played the Hurricanes, the Islanders, the Devils, and now they'll finish off with the Rangers. The Rangers have won 2 of their last 3 games, struggled against Montreal. They got blown out against the Devils, then they beat the Penguins. At the number, it's Kraken or nothing. I don't like the situational spot, though, for the Kraken in this game, but definitely I would only look towards the dog in this spot with the Kraken. Isles beat the Canes' ass. That was so much fun. That was so much fun to see that yesterday. For sure. Nice. Like Kraken. Yeah, I would only look towards the Kraken. Seattle money line. Rangers minus 170 odds is a trap. No, because they've been playing like shit lately, so I can see why the line's that low. I like the Raiders today. What's your thoughts on that? I would only look towards the Raiders in that game against the Buccaneers. Did not pull the trigger on it, though, but I would only look. That game is definitely dog or pass. We'll move on. The Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Vancouver Canucks. In this next game, we have the Lightning minus 110 favorites, and this is where I think I'm going to get my cards started in the NHL. Total 6 in this game. The Vancouver Canucks have been a pretty simple team. You fade them at home. Now, granted, they are off of a win at home. I faded them last game at home. It was their first game back after a 6-game road trip. They started the game down 2-0 against the Blue Jackets, and then rattled off 5 straight goals to beat them 5-2. I have no interest in the Canucks in this game. We had the Lightning. The one thing that's kind of concerning for me, wanting to back the Lightning in this game, is I hate backing teams off of a 8-1 win. But that was them sitting at home for a while, and after the loss to the Maple Leafs, they had to wait till the 5th. So looking back at it, it was a terrible play for me to go ahead and back the freaking Sharks in that game. I like this Lightning team. I think they're a team that can compete for the Atlantic Division. I think they're a team that is going to be a little bit of a threat in the East. I'm going to take them here at minus 110. My numbers have them around minus 130, minus 135 range. So, yeah, sign me up for some Lightning here in this game at the pick'em price tag at minus 110 against the Vancouver Canucks, who have won just, 4 games at home? 4 out of 12 games at home this year. So they've been an overvalued commodity at home as well. So Lightning for me, minus 110. Had the first period, Hurricanes first period. There you go. Canucks Lightning over 6. I can see that. Bolts money line. Yep. Lightning. They are lost already to go. 4-12, not too good. Yeah. No. You prefer them on the road. Let's get into the next game here. We have the New York Islanders taking on the Ottawa Senators. The Senators minus 135 favorites in this game, total 6. Now, I've been not betting Islander games for a while. I finally backed the Islanders yesterday because I thought that was a nice opportunity for them, and I like them as dogs. I prefer the Islanders as dogs than favorites, and that's one thing we haven't been seeing with the Islanders lately is them being dogs as much. Because they were favorites when they lost against Seattle. They were favorites on the road against Montreal. They were favorites against the Buffalo Sabres. They were favorites against the Bruins. They were favorites against the Red Wings. They were favorites against the Blues. They've been favorites basically every single game recently, except for against Carolina and the Washington Capitals on the road. And I want the Islanders as dogs. Like, when the Islanders are dogs, that's where I want to back them. Because this is a team that you want them as dogs, you don't want them as favorites. Why? They always play everybody close. This is why they lead the league in overtimes. So they are one of those teams that are scrappy enough to compete, to punch above their weight, but they're not good enough to blow away bad teams to where I want to lay puck lines with these teams as favorites and like that. I never want the Islanders as a favorite this year, ever. But as a dog, I'm a little bit more interested in them here. Yes, they are in the second half of a back-to-back. So are the Ottawa Senators. They're coming off of a 3-1 win against Nashville last night. At this number, though, I had this game projected at a pick'em. I'm not high on the Senators team whatsoever. And I can get plus 120 with the Islanders in this game. Sign me up. Islanders plus 120 in this one. I haven't been backing this team much, and when I do, it generally goes pretty well. Like I feel like I have a decent read on this Islanders team. I think this is a spot where the Islanders can potentially win a couple games here. They go after this game, they go home to play the Kings, and then they go and then they play Chicago at home, and then they play them on the road. I'm going to have no interest in them when they play Chicago because they're going to be favorites in both those games. But I feel like those are games they can win. So the Islanders' schedule is going to get a little bit easier coming up here in a little bit. I'm not high on the Senators team. I'll take a shot with fading the Sens as favorites in this game. I'll take the Islanders at plus 120. Sens money line, fair. And I understand people like wanting to fade the Islanders. I do. What about the under 6? I have the game projected for 5.92 goals, so it's a very, very slight lean towards it, but not betting it. We'll keep it going. Columbus Blue Jackets, Winnipeg Jets. The Jets minus 160 favorites, total of 6 in this game. Let's take a look at the projections for this one here. I have this game projected closer towards a pick. And yes, I get it. Columbus, and I believe this is probably going to be very similar to the Kraken game, right? Where this is the last, yeah. This is very similar to the Kraken game for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I want the dog in this game. But I don't know if I want them on the last game of a road trip. Granted, they've lost the last 3 games on the road trip. The only game they've won was in Chicago. The Winnipeg Jets have now won back-to-back games after losing 4 in a row. They beat Buffalo and Chicago, whoop-de-freaking-do. But the Blue Jackets, I don't know if are already better. The Blue Jackets have lost 3 in a row to Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. I would like to back the Blue Jackets in this game. It would be dog or pass here for me. I don't like that it's the last game of a road trip for them, though, and they may be just wanting to go home, especially with how bad the road trip has been. But I could see them stepping up in this game here a little bit. So it would be Jackets or nothing for me, but no play. Jackets money line. That would be my lean. That would be my lean now in this game. And I believe, now the Blue Jackets are now back in last in the Metro Division. So we'll move on. Colorado Avalanche, New Jersey Devils. The Devils minus 175 favorites, total 6.5 in this game. I project the Devils to be favorites in this game. I have them around minus 180 favorites in this game. So I actually think this line's correct. And I have this game at a 6.82 projected goal total. So it's slightly towards the over here as well for me in this game. Taking a look at this matchup here, the Devils are playing good hockey. They've won back-to-back games. They've won 7 of the last 10. They're coming in off of a 3-2 win against the Seattle Kraken. I don't know if I trust them to cover a puck line in this game, which is exactly what you would have to ask them to do in this game, is cover a puck line. And this Colorado team, I think is this another spot where no, they'll finish off their road trip in Pittsburgh. So this is not the last game of a road trip for them. They've won 2 out of 3 games on the road so far. The only game they lost was in Raleigh against the Hurricanes. So there's that. I'm not going to move on this game. I don't want. I've leaned Devils. Don't want them at this price, but don't really want. And I don't want to fade the Avalanche at this number. It's just not a spot that I would like to fade the Avalanche in. So another no play here. This hockey card's kind of crap, to be completely honest. There's a couple of spots that I like, but just are bad situational spots that I see value on, which I'm not going to pull the trigger on with Columbus and Seattle. So watch them both win. But yeah. Thank you for the show. Good luck. Good luck, Stop Geo. Devils money line, yeah, minus 180 though. Not a spot I'm going to be laying that type of number with. We'll move on. Utah and the Flyers. It's a pick'em total of 6 in this game. Utah coming in off of the win against the Sabres yesterday. I see a little bit of value with the Flyers. My projections do at the pick'em price tag in this game. I'm not a believer in this Flyers team still. They're 12, 11, and 4, so they've definitely overachieved this year, I believe, personally. And here's the thing, though, is I believe this is another spot where, they have 2 games more on this road trip. They go to Colorado and San Jose after this. Utah does. They're on a second half of back-to-back. So are the Flyers. Both these teams played the early game yesterday. The Flyers off an overtime game. It makes me not want them as much. And they are 5-3-2 over the last 10 games. Utah is not a team I particularly trust either, especially on the road. Actually, on the road, they've been better than they have at home. They're 7-6-2 on the road. But ultimately, another game I'm not particularly interested in getting involved with. Actually, the only thing I'd get involved with this game is the over. Actually, the more and more I look at it, the more I'm interested in it. The Flyers have been playing a little bit more of unders, but I don't trust their goaltending. I think Utah can be able to score some goals in this game. Let me see if I can still get a 6. If I can still get a 6, I might grab this over for this game because at a 6, I see some value on it. 6 minus 110, bet 365. Yep, nope, sign me up for that. Over 6, Philly and Utah. I have this game projected for 6.75. I thought this was going to be more of a 6.5. So over 6 here for me. Utah and Philadelphia. Flyers money line. Yeah, I can see why people would like the Flyers money line. I would. But yeah. Final game of the day, the Dallas Stars taking on the Calgary Flames. The Stars minus 220 favorites in this game, total of 6 in this one. I have no interest in laying over $2 with the Dallas Stars, but do I have an interest in backing the Calgary Flames? I mean, at this number, it's appealing. At plus 200, it is a little bit appealing to back the Calgary Flames in this spot. Am I going to do it, though? No. I think this is the time we're going to start seeing Calgary regress. We're starting to see it already. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games. It's just the Flames are just not the team they were in the beginning of the year. I could see this game going to overtime for no good reason. So I definitely have no interest in Dallas at this number. I do expect the Flames to continue to regress. So once again, another pass here for me. So it looks like today's hockey card will be Lightning, Islanders, and the over in the Utah game. So those will be the 3 plays for today for me. And that is the full card for today. But we'll head back to the chat and then we'll get into then we'll head on out. Star Smash, Stars in regulation. Fair. I really don't have an interest in that at that number with the Dallas Stars. But that is everything for today's card. The full NFL card, the full NBA card, the full NHL card. Went over it all here. So that's going to do it for this one. Well, thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, everyone.